Good morning. This is on how to measure the internal resistance of a battery. I've got a battery pack here from a DeWalt drill. It's a 12 volt battery pack. I have a 50 ohm 5 watt resistor. I have my meter here set up to read amperage. I have this meter here set up to read voltage. I have some leads here. I can connect this lead to the positive terminal of the battery, and it runs through the ammeter, comes back out, runs to the resistor, and then from the resistor it runs to this lead here, which I can hook to the negative terminal, and then I'll be completing the circuit with the ammeter in the circuit, and it will start reading. I've got the voltage meter connected across the resistor, so right now I'm reading 13.53 volts and 269 milliamps. So that's how I'm going to be measuring current and voltage through this resistor, or through this battery. Now, if you look at the circuit, I can measure the open circuit voltage of this battery, no load connected to it, and the current flowing through the internal resistor of this voltmeter, or of this battery. This is the battery here. This represents the internal resistance. The current through that would be 0 because this is an open circuit. So the equation of this circuit is V open circuit plus Ohm's law, which is I times R internal, which is the voltage drop across this internal resistance, is going to be equal to the voltage in. Now I is equal to 0 because it is an open circuit, so this drops out. So it just means that voltage open circuit is equal to voltage in. Now if I connect a resistor like I had here, this 50 ohm resistor, if I connect that resistor in there, then I get some current to flow. And it's the same equation. V in is equal to R internal of the battery, internal resistance of the battery, plus V out. And if you solve for that, if you solve for R internal, you would subtract V out from both sides. So it would be I times R internal is equal to V in minus V out. And then if you divide I on both sides, it would be R internal is equal to V in minus V out divided by I. So now I'm just going to measure the current I and the voltage out. And the way I'm going to do that is with this circuit, which I've got set up here that I showed you earlier. I've got the battery sitting here. I've got R internal, and then I'm putting an ammeter in the circuit right here to measure the current flow, this I here. And I have my R out, which is this 50 ohm 5 watt resistor, and then I put a voltmeter across that. Now if I assume that there's no voltage drop across this voltmeter or this ammeter, which we can assume there's negligible voltage drop across that, and that there's very little current draw by this voltmeter, then we can assume that I is indeed what we measure, and the voltage out here is indeed what we measure. So we're going to make that measurement now. And if I measure the V open circuit right now, I have 13.62 volts. And then if I take and connect up the battery with the resistor in place, then the voltage across the resistor is 13.52 volts. So that would be V out. And the current flow is 268 milliamps. And that would be I. So V open circuit is equal to 13.62 volts like we measured. And that, according to this earlier equation, is also equal to V in. And V out is equal to 13.52 volts. And the current flow with the resistor in place is equal to 268 milliamps. So now we just substitute those values into this equation up here, which would be V out, which is 13.52 volts, and V in, which is 13.62 volts. And so V in minus V out is equal to R internal, and you can divide that all by I, which is 268 milliamps, so 0.268 amps, then you get R internal. So if you use a calculator and do that math, you come up with 0.373 ohms is R internal, which is 373 milliohms. So that's how you measure the internal resistance of a battery.
So please subscribe to the video and like the video and press the bell next to the subscribe button, and you'll be notified about future videos. So have a good day and thank you.